What's up, guys? It's Bulldozer TV, and I'm here with my fantastic co-host, Albert.
Yeah,
I know I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed about the game. Chelsea losing by 2 goals to 1. It was a boring game, let's be honest with ourselves. I'd like to know the perspective of Albert, how he's feeling now, and what did he see watching the game?
Yeah, I think for the first time this week, I agree with you that it was a boring game because Chelsea came in and couldn't even score a goal, right? They huffed and they puffed. Cole Palmer was crap. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go there. I wish he would play all the games against Arsenal and play all of Chelsea's games for the rest of the season. I think Chelsea didn't do enough to win the game. It was sort of a close game. But then, yeah, I agree that it was boring from Chelsea's perspective. But then from Arsenal's perspective, I think what matters is the goals, right? So we got the goals. I predicted it perfectly. I said 2-0 or 2-1 if we make a defensive mistake. And Chelsea couldn't even score a single goal in this game. We had to literally score a goal for them. And now you're here complaining about the game being boring. I agree with you, it was boring. Chelsea didn't play shit.
You know, I like the way you're trying to spin the facts. Arsenal was really terrible. No, you're trying to spin the fact as if Chelsea, Rich Morton, we had more possession.
Arsenal had better XG, but had more shots. So when it comes to attacking play, Arsenal was far better than Chelsea. So please, do not even go there.
You had one good shot on target, and that was after the red card when Eberechi Eze shot the ball to which Sanchez saved. Apart from that, you did nothing.
If we had just one shot on target, how did you score 2 goals? Tell me about
it. It was corner kicks, and that's the thing. That's the problem, you know.
And how did you score your goal? But
this is why I think this is why I think the Premier League, the PGMO must change the rules in terms of corner kicks. Because goalkeepers used to be the most protective species when it comes to football. But now they are no more protected. And you see players pushing goalkeepers and they are not able to do their job. So this is why I think the PGMO should do something about corner kicks. Because without corner kicks, I bet you this game would have been an eyesore. There was nothing to write home about with this game, honestly.
I think the first half was expansive. Chelsea didn't sit back, which was good to see. It was end to end. Yeah, it was a captivating first half. So I wouldn't say it would have been a boring game without the corner kicks. And with your point on keepers being protected and all, corner kicks accrue to both teams, right? The onus is on each team to take advantage of the corner kick within the legal remits of the game as much as possible to score a goal. So long as there's no infringements or the referees do not identify any infringements, any team has the right to score goals from corner kick. In the Premier League game at Stamford Bridge this season, your only goal came from a corner kick. Back at Emirates as well, your only goal came from a corner kick. And that was even an own goal scored by Arsenal. So I don't know what you're complaining about.
Bro, but
if it wasn't for corner kicks, you wouldn't have goals. No, I agree that there's been a lot more emphasis on set pieces. And that is because the gap between the teams have narrowed, right? So now, you know, if you are going to play even against a Newcastle, previously a Newcastle wouldn't be so much of a tough game. An Aston Villa, a Bournemouth, right, wouldn't be so much of a tough game. But right now, the gap has really slimmed down, right? And each team has very quality players, very technical back office teams, right? So you're able to prepare for the game very well. And the games are very close, much closer than it used to be. Then you have to take advantage of, you know, all the little margins that you can get, including corner kicks, including throw-ins, any way you can gain a slim advantage, you have to gain it and take advantage of it. And you can't fault Arsenal for identifying these margins and taking advantage of them. It's up to any team to also do same, so long as it's legal. So I don't get this, you know, huff and puff about corner kicks. And football evolves, right? The way football used to be played 15 years ago, it's not the same way it's played now. It's not the same way it was played 20, 25 years ago, right? There was a tiki-taka era where everybody was trying to get into that Barca kind of space with tiki-taka. There was a time where long balls was the ace 20, 25 years ago. There was a time where defensive solidity was emphasized. with Mourinho's style of play, moving to Inter, and that became, the standard, right? So this is a phase where maybe set plays is emphasized. That phase would eventually pass, but that doesn't mean that football has fallen off. As for that, I don't agree with it.
I don't disagree that corner kicks is part of the game. I don't disagree with teams scoring from corner kicks, but the way it is scored, because this is the thing. Arsenal scores corner kicks in Champions League, but the way they play their corner kicks in Champions League is different. They don't bash the goalkeeper. And when you watch it in the Champions League, the rules, the moment you start to bash the goalkeeper, the referee calls a foul.
The point you are making here. So what you're saying is there is a lot more physicality allowed in the Premier League than is allowed in the Champions League. That is fine.
Yes, and
it means that both teams can take advantage of it in the Premier League. So why aren't the other teams doing the same? So long as it is legal, anyone can do it. And you can see United has picked up and they're doing the same thing. Yesterday, Liverpool scored 3 goals from set pieces.
I don't disagree about it. Arsenal are the best in that area.
If the EPL decides to change the rules to mirror what is in the Champions League, we would comply perfectly, just as we do comply in the Champions League, and still score goals from corners in the Champions League.
No less, honestly. So,
no, because in the Champions League also, the teams also come and play expansive football like you guys did today, right? So there's a lot more expansive football compared to what we have in the Premier League, where a lot of the teams rather come and sit back against Arsenal, like you did in your 1-0 loss against us in the Carabao Cup.
Forget about the Challenge Cup. That is what nobody cares about. Looking at the game today, I know you're excited with your team because you had to dubious corner kick goals. But looking at the performance of your players, were you excited about your players' performance, or you were like, yeah, we still got the 3 points, so that's all that matters?
Yeah, I think there's some room for improvement, right, with the way we play and even our play in possession, right? We used to be so much better in possession whenever we have the ball, and even out of possession, we used to be so much better, right? But then I'll say that we've changed players in 3 critical positions, right? Center forward, where we have Gyökeres coming in, number 10, where we have Eze coming in, and then DM, where we have Zubimendi coming in, right? These are 3 very critical positions across the field, right? And I think it may take some time, maybe a season or 2, for the team to gel and for them to have the cohesion and the understanding that they have of each other, like we used to have. So back then, when we had Odegaard in that position, where we had Partey in DM, and then we had Havertz or Jesus in front, that chemistry was there. This player is going to be, so you don't even have to look. Partey doesn't even have to look before he lays off the pass. But then now we have new players coming in. It may take some time. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. But I think what is more impressive is the fact that in spite of these changes, we finished the Champions League on top. We are in contention for 4 trophies, and we are on top of the Premier League as well. We have a Carabao Cup final coming in, and we are still in contention for the FA Cup. Even though there's room for improvements, we are still in a good place. We'll take it like that. So, I mean, you can imagine what would happen if the team ends up gelling perfectly. We just blew everyone out of water.
Forget about if the team is gelling perfectly. We said the same about Liverpool when they started the first 5 games of the season and they were scoring a last minute goal. We were like, man, if the team gels, they are going to blow things up, and what happens to them? So this is the thing about our game today. As a Chelsea fan, I was really, really not happy, especially in the first half. Although we were expansive, we kept on building up slowly, and then once we get to the Arsenal side of the field, we just play a back pass and give the ball to Sanchez. And my God, anytime Sanchez has the ball, my heart was racing. It was crazy. It was not just one mistake, mistakes upon mistakes upon mistake, and the player still kept giving him the ball, giving him. I'm like, what the hell is going? Can't you do something about this? I knew he was going to make a mistake, and he should have. Honestly, the second goal from us now, he should have come for the ball. I don't know why he flopped and fell on the ground when it was your own player that had a touch on you. He should have come for the ball, just like Raya did in some of our corner kicks. I was disappointed with Pedro Neto. 26 years in a week, and you are making this silly mistake. Get a yellow card for dissent, and also get a yellow card for a tackle that you shouldn't make when you know you already had a yellow card 2 minutes ago. It's not like you had a yellow card 30 minutes ago and you've forgotten you had a yellow card. This is fresh in memory and you make such a dumb decision. At that moment, I was so pissed off, I nearly switched on the TV. I wasn't even watching the game after that. I was just sneaking in and out and watching it a bit because I was totally pissed. And Pedro Neto, I've been complaining about him. Pedro Neto, Garnacho, Gittins, Tosin, these are players I've been complaining about, and they still let us down. But Garnacho came in and did something, nearly got us the equalizer. So looking at this game, I'm disappointed. I'm not furious. I'm disappointed and furious with only Pedro Neto. Arsenal didn't beat us for me to feel like they are miles ahead of Chelsea. They didn't beat us for me to feel like we don't have a chance. But then it was just Chelsea being immature, silly mistakes, and not being able to defend set pieces. And, the worst player on the pitch again, Pedro Neto, disappointing us.
Nandino said they try join. I mean, go figure out this part up. Nandino said they try join. If you put that on. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you that Pedro Neto was diabolical, right? But he wasn't the only diabolical Chelsea player on the pitch. I think Kopama didn't do so. I don't know that he was nursing an injury or not,
I agree.
but he didn't look very fit, and it was terrible as well. I think Hato, the guy who was marking Saka, I think he had a good game.
He had a good game, honestly.
Kept Saka in check most of the time. Saw him a couple of times here and there, but I said that I think he had a good day. Him and then maybe Rich James, had good games. I think the worst players on the pitch for you guys would be Palmer and then Pedro Neto. 100% agree.
He was terrible, and unfortunately for us, our next game we don't have Estival who is going to play. So probably we are going to.
But is Cucurella coming back for your next game?
I don't think so. It's still going to be hard to cross.
No, but he's on a red. Cucurella is on a red, right? So would he be done with his ban or his suspension? He's injured. That's even worse. As Fofana, who's on a red.
Yes, Fofana will be available next game, but then Sarr didn't make any mistake, so it's not even a big deal.
Wasn't it Sarr who made a mistake for the Timber header? Because he was looking at Timber rather than looking at the ball, I think. And Timber just went around him and then got the ball, I think. But aside that, I think he had a better game than probably Tosin would have had. I agree with you.
The moment they brought in Tosin, I was like, what the hell is the coach doing? Like, why would you bring
let me pick your brain on this. Surprisingly, when Chelsea went down to 10 men, you were playing so much better. Like, where does that come from? Because this is the first time I'm seeing this. With Arsenal against Chelsea back at the bridge to when you lost Caicedo. You played so much better when Caicedo went off. So what's happening? Is that the players are just waiting to get a red card before they think it's a notch? What's happening?
I think the players feel an injustice when Pedro Neto got a red card, so they try to up their game. But here's the thing: you try to up your game against Arsenal when you get a red card. But then when you get a red card against the Minos, the teams you are supposed to be, like Burnley, those smaller teams, still up your game. We try to defend, and we are not built to defend. This Chelsea team is just built to attack. The best form of defense for Chelsea is to attack, and that is the only thing we can do. But we keep on messing ourselves up, and we keep on crucifying ourselves. So like you said, Kopama was really terrible today. Giving lazy passes, not being Kopama. When he has to shoot, he wasn't shooting. When he had to give a pass, he was so indecisive with his game today. And it's been like that for the last 3 games, although he's been scoring penalties. But he should have scored the last minute goal against Leeds when he blazed it over the bar. Against Burnley also, he had chances that we could have buried the game in the first half, and then he didn't take it. And then today also. So overall, I would say another positive about the Chelsea game is that Romeo Lavia is back. And you could see when he came in.
He had a good game. He had a good game when he came on.
Yeah, he came on. So that is one positive thing that I'm going on to Wednesday. I know he's still not fit 100%, so I hope he comes in to change Andrés Santos back. So who were you disappointed with in terms of Arsenal? And who were you happy with, your players?
Let me start with who I'm very happy with, David Raya. He saved us in this game. 100%.
That Garnacho goal especially. That Garnacho's.
Yes, cross could have been a problem, right? But then Maguire had a very good game, a couple of very good saves throughout the match. Who I'm a little disappointed it will be Nkapie for the own goal, right? I think he could have headed it a little harder, it would have gone over the top or something. You know, putting your head on such an in-swinger ball in that position is always going to be dangerous and put your team in a precarious position. But who I'm a little more disappointed in would be Gyökeres. It felt as though we're playing with 10 men at a point. My main concern is whenever the ball goes over the top to Gyökeres, we end up conceding possession. So it means there's absolutely no point playing a long ball into Gyökeres. And I'm glad Havertz is back. I think when Havertz came back earlier this season from injury, him and Gyökeres played very well off each other. So now that Havertz is back, maybe he may be able to unlock Gyökeres a little bit. But then in this game and in most Arsenal games I've watched this season, whenever we go over the top to Gyökeres, he messes up the ball. I don't need you to score in every game, but then you need to be able to bring in other players, hold on to the ball, lay off a pass here and there, and not concede possession whenever the ball comes to you. I think that's my main concern. I don't have a problem with him not scoring a lot of goals. That's normal. That's fine. If he gets 10, 15, 20 goals a season, that's okay. Other players will come in. Right? But you need to bring other guys, other team members into the play whenever the ball comes to you, not concede possession whenever the ball goes over the top to you.
Okay,
How about you?
That's a
For your
good point.
players.
So that's a good point. My players have already said, like you said, we will have.
But who are you impressed with? Yeah, Romeo Lavia, yeah. And Reece James. Reece James also had a good game.
Really
right?
impressed with Reece James. Like he really showed that he's a captain.
I can see Reece James in this Arsenal team, you know.
No, you don't say you can see. Like when Reece James is in Arsenal team, no one is benching him. He's that good.
That's what I'm saying. I can see Reece James in this Arsenal team. Like, he will just complete our back line.
Apart from the corner kicks he was taking, he was putting some good crosses that
very dangerous crosses. There was a cross he put in. Yeah, there was a cross he put in, and then I think Joao Pedro took it away from Kopama with a header, right?
Yeah. So that's it for the Chelsea versus Arsenal game. So now,
before you go, prediction for Chelsea Aston Villa.
We are going to beat them by 2-0. But then,
I like the optimism.
How confident are you that you are going to win the title?
I've said it earlier. City is not in flow states, right? Neither is Arsenal. That's fine. So it's who can take one match at a time and who can tag it out, like how we've tagged it out this weekend and how Leeds have tagged it out. If this was last 3 seasons, I'd have said City, because City in flow state at this time of the season. KDB, he just didn't want to see Arsenal win the Premier League. He would just be in form all of a sudden during the running, right? But then with this current City team, I think it's very open. I'll say it's 50-50. Anything can happen. City may drop some points. Arsenal may also drop some points. I think the two will net out. So whoever wins or whoever gets points of the other in the City-Arsenal game next month will probably be the one who would win the trophy. And hopefully Arsenal would have struck a good form by then. But then another new development that I think can adversely affect City is the fact that they have a tougher string of matches in the Champions League, right?
Yeah, so they are even coming to Stamford Bridge, though.
Exactly. If Real Madrid decides to give them a tough time in the Champions League, it's going to run their battery lower. Even if they beat Real Madrid, I think their next game is most likely in the Champions League is most likely going to be Bayern Munich, right? And these are all games that are coming in during the running and just before the Arsenal game too. So they may get a little drained on that front. So Arsenal will be meeting Leverkusen, maybe Bodo Glimt and the others. The next tough game we have in the Champions League would be Barcelona. So I think that may also wear City down a little. But yeah, fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, I would still like City to win, but I'm not confident.
Of course, you would like City to win.
I'm not confident watching City because their defense, Gay has improved them, but they still are open and they still concede goals. Watching yesterday's games against Leeds United, the last 20 minutes of that game, City was on the ropes. So they are not really playing that kind of football that we knew City to be. So I'm still not confident in them, but hopefully they pull a surprise. So until then, cheers. It's Bulldozer TV.